This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I am here with an autism author who is passionate about issues related to adults on the spectrum. His writing continues to focus on the comprehensive needs of the autism population. I'm joined here with the author and speaker, George Williams. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. Basically, you were formally educated with a master's at Virginia Commonwealth University. You have been a business owner, a tutor for special needs, and now an autism expert, really. Share with us how this passion for providing a powerful message of hope, resilience, and growth really began for you.
Certainly. It all started when my son was diagnosed at age 3 with autism. He entered the school system. He did well academically, but struggled socially. Like so many kids, he just didn't fit in from a social standpoint, was having difficulties. So my wife and I decided to homeschool. So as a result of our decision, I drew the lucky straw, and was somewhat hesitant to homeschool. I'd never taught before. And I remember I initially tried to teach my son the way I was taught, and that wasn't working. What I discovered was he was a visual learner. We started doing videos, a lot of uh, uh, live on site projects. We did a lot of YouTube, and I realized that he needed to see it before he grasped it. And I was trying to do it in reverse order, trying to take a concept and build a picture around that. He needed the picture first. Once I got that, this learning accelerated, learning became fun. And I realized there were so many other kids who would eventually grow into adulthood who just were not getting it and needed that kind of support. I wanted to focus on the needs of adults because we hear so much about kids and autism, but those kids grow into adults and they become autistic adults, and their needs are completely different.
I agree with that. Absolutely, definitely a need there. According to the CDC, an estimated 1 in 45 adults in the U.S. has autism spectrum disorder. I mean, this is approximately 5.4 million adults. Is the first step really of awareness vital to overcome some of these challenges?
Absolutely. Awareness is critical. The earlier, the better. Early intervention is so important. Um, Back in the 90s, when this whole autism awareness movement really was in its infancy, uh, we didn't get a diagnosis. We took our son to 3 doctors. We knew something was off, something just wasn't right. And finally, my wife, who's an RN, talked to a therapist, and the therapist just said, "Have you had him tested for autism?" Sure enough, we took him to a neuropsychologist, and that's how we received our diagnosis.
Wow. I mean, stats also say that the rate of autism diagnosis among adults is increasing, particularly in younger adults. You began writing, like you said, when your son was diagnosed with autism. So, I mean, you have experienced this firsthand, and obviously you can relate with a lot of parents out there, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. There are parents who, some are in denial. Some know that their child may be struggling in some areas, but so often I hear, "Oh, my child can't have autism. It can't be autism." And I think for a lot of parents, they feel autism is just the dreaded uh, diagnosis of doom, and it's not, because it's a spectrum disorder. There's so many pieces of functioning, and there are so many supports, and awareness is growing tremendously.
Yep, I agree. While homeschooling your son, you realized that there was very little literature on autistic teens and adults. So, was that your reason for first writing about that topic, would you say?
Yes, it was, because my son is an only child, And my wife and I realized as we got older that eventually our son would have to live independently of us at some point. And we want him to be as independent as possible, but there's a need for support. So I wanted to write about the five major pillars: employment, socialization, healthcare. Um, there are two more that escapes me right now. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, these are topics that have been around since this all began. Obviously, concerns
that's
for
right.
parents. As the adult autism expert, you provide support and solutions today for those adults with autism, but your first focus was on the future. In 2040 is what your book, Who Will Care for Them? That's really what it's all about. Touch on why you wrote that specific book.
That's right. Hey, you're exactly right. I was looking ahead because at that time we're going to have a tremendous, a very large special needs population, middle aged uh, population. Meantime, adults like myself are growing older. A lot of these adults now, we're already seeing the tip of the iceberg, are experiencing healthcare challenges of their own. Some are experiencing early onset dementia. Some are moving to assisted living. And their adult autistic kids who have lived at home for the most part all their lives are suddenly without their primary source of support and care. So there is a tremendous need. This tidal wave is coming, and it's coming rapidly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a tidal wave is coming, especially as people are getting older and these baby boomers are retiring and whatnot. As autism becomes the fastest growing developmental disability, your book really tackles the concern of who will care for individuals when the parents can no longer do so. Who is this book a recommended read for? What is the target audience you're hoping for there?
Well, certainly it's for parents and as well as the autistic adults themselves, because many adults are receiving diagnoses for the first time now who are 50, 60, 70 years old or older. It's for healthcare professionals, the medical professionals, the therapists, the counselors. It's also for the financial services industry because there's going to be a tremendous financial impact taking place, um, as well as attorneys, probate attorneys in particular. Um, I'm thinking of things like special needs trust, managing finances and inheritances, settling disputes that may arise as a result of not having a will or having a trust in place.
Yep, quite a few ways people can get that information, which is great. George, you celebrate the unique strengths and diverse perspectives of autistic individuals. You are committed to helping them define their own narratives and pursue opportunities once thought really impossible. Is this rewarding work for you?
Oh, absolutely. It's extremely rewarding because just like autism itself, there's such a broad array of gifts found within the community. Um, People are artistic, people are um, some work very well with their hands, others are brilliant. They have very brilliant creative minds, and it's a matter of finding what they do well and supporting them in it. Um, for example, just briefly, my son was reading on the sixth grade level in the second grade, but he never learned to tie his shoe. And to this day, he can't tie a shoe. He does slip ons or Velcro, but it's not important to him tying a shoe, but he reads all the time. He's a voracious reader. He's an artist and he's very creative. Tying the shoe he can do without. So it's important to find out what people do well, encourage them in it, and support them.
That's a fantastic story, a great example, as we all have shortcomings, no matter who we are, and we overcome those and basically able to provide and really, really bring something to society. Great story. Thank you so much today. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is his website. On the website for Adult Autism 2 is where you can find resources and support for those that are diagnosed, the parents, and really the entire autistic support community. You can find his books right there on the website or directly on Amazon as well. Reach out today. Once again, that is George D. Williams, dedicated to creating an empowering community for autistic individuals. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.